What are your initial thoughts?
Looks like a good place to set up a brewery. Looks like he's doing a good job with it so far. I'd love to see the inside. I love this big glass overhead door here.
You want to start it?
Wait, what? Oh, I thought you were just taking a picture.
No, no.
Oh,
It's a selfie video.
oh, selfie video. What's up?
Hey,
Second.
this is Josh.
This is Andrew.
For Red Beer Brew Blog. We're here at Bellwether Brewery, here to talk to Thomas Croskrey, the brewmaster of Bellwether, and find out what's going on while probably stroking our red beards a few times.
A few?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never stop. Anyway.
I noticed.
Yeah.
Let's go inside and see what's going on.
We're Bellwether, and we're excited to be open soon.
Doing most of the actual, well, actually all of it, the brewing part of it.
I'm Dave Musser, and I'm the instigator of getting Thomas to do it with me and pulling people together. And this is a dream come true for my wife and I, to open a business in this neighborhood and be a part of the revitalization of North Monroe. And we look forward to making Spokane even a cooler place than it is.
I brewed my first batch when I was 6 months old. No. Some other friends were actually down in Portland, so I wasn't even hands-on, but they started making their own, and I was like, well, shoot, why don't I just try making it? And
I've only made 2 beers in my life, so I'm definitely not the brewer of this. And then 2 summers ago, we started getting all kinds of, we're like neighborhood pickers, because there's a lot of trees and stuff that they don't pick, so they're just giving us the fruit from it. And so I started making ciders and fruit wines, and I got into it because I could make 5 gallons of fruit wine, and people were giving me the fruit for $5, and I'm like, this is very wise for my pocketbook. My first time brewing, I didn't put the like big tube off to let it, whatever.
the fermentation.
Yeah.
Blow off too.
The blow off tube, I didn't put that. I just put the little plug in because I don't think I had a blow off tube. And I went to bed and we heard this bop in the middle of the night. Didn't think much of it, but when I got up in the morning, there was beer on the ceiling, and it had just like drained out a ton, just all across the floor. And so I thought I ruined the batch, but I was like, well, plug it back up and see how it goes, and I just got really lucky because it actually ended up being delicious. Like,
What was the batch? Like, what?
it was my first home brew. It was from Jim's home brew. It was called Colostrum, or Mother's Milk.
Yeah, that's a nice dark stout.
Yeah, it was a dark stout. And I actually, with friends, I would pour a black beet porter and mine in it, and like they didn't know which one. And 9 out of 10 picked mine over, and I was like, I gotta mess up this more often. So I don't know what.
The thing that's been the most annoying, and I'm really being candid and vulnerable here. There have been a couple of batches when I bottled them, and I don't know why they didn't carbonate. Was I just that special and forgot to put in the sugar? None of them tasted sour, so it's not like I killed off the yeast and got a bacteria in there. So that's probably the most frustrating. And the most frustrating thing I ever deal with is if I can't source the problem.
What advice do you have for new beginning brewers, such as ourselves?
Kind of a couple things maybe. One is really, when the first couple times you're doing a full batch, I would say follow the recipe. I actually have a hard time following recipes, following formulas, all that kind of stuff. My first 3 beers that I did, I just flipped through a book. I picked a recipe. The guy at the homebrew shop filled it for me. I got a nice little recipe and I followed it to the T. I did that 3 times, and then I was like, all right, enough of this, I'm going crazy. So then I started experimenting and making my own recipes and stuff. stuff. If you do have a question, you're like, I don't know what that means, look it up. Honestly, the homebrew shops, most of them are just going to be awesome. I don't mind throwing out a plug myself. The guy, he's on Sprague, just east of Evergreen, called New Home Bottles and Brew. His name's Peter. He's fantastic. He's really, really nice, really supportive of beginners or experts or wherever you are. He's absolutely an expert himself. He'll chat with you, send him a message through Facebook, whatever. Yeah, he's awesome.
Tell him Thomas sent you.
Yeah.
No.
I get a cookie for every recommendation.
Yeah. I would have used to say like Browns, like Newcastle or Moose Drool was probably the top one of mine. And then a couple years back, I had the Slow Elk IPA, I think. And I didn't like IPAs, but it was an art thing that my wife was at, and it was free drinks, but we didn't know it until like almost the end of the night. And then when I found out, all they had left was IPA on there. I was like, well, I have to have it. And I fell in love with it, and so from then on, I just started drinking IPAs, and they kind of ruined me for all other beers. But now that we're opening a brewery, I'm like, okay, I have to start tasting other beers. So I retrained my taste buds to actually. Probably my favorite IPA right now is the Shoots Dry Hops. Not dry hops, fresh hops, fresh squeezed.
I've got a couple, I guess you could say, favorites. I do certainly like the IPAs and stuff. My absolute favorite beer of all time is some friends of mine that also helped introduce me into the idea of making beer, and that is up at Republic Brewing Company in Ferry County. They're part of the Ale Trail and stuff too. I highly recommend taking the 2.5 hours to get up there from Spokane. But their Big Mischief Porter is my favorite beer. And I kind of did, like before that, like Dave said, he was drinking the Newcastle and stuff. Honestly, I thought that beer was Blue Moon and Coors Light. And I really didn't even care for it. I was like, I don't like beer. I don't get the point. And then I had Republic Brewing Company, and I was like, okay, I'm going. I know where I'm going. Other than that, I do have some seasonal preferences. And during the winter time, like fall and winter, a nice, strong, hoppy barley wine, absolutely my favorite. That would definitely be a go-to, sitting in front of the fire on a rocking chair with a barley wine. Well, I know for my part, it's something I had been talking about and dreaming about for, I don't know, quite a while. And Melanie, my wife, was behind it, and she just said, hey, as long as you have a plan and stuff, like, let's go for it. And for a while, I kind of didn't have a great working plan, so we weren't taking any plunges. I've known Dave since our elementary school days, through church and things like that. So we kind of kept in contact and stuff, and he was over at my house drinking some of my home brews, and he's like, yeah, my wife and I, his wife, were like, we want to open up a place.
I think my wife and I got a really big tax return, and I was like, what are we going to do with this money? And it started getting us talking, like, we should start a business. And that's when, like, I was remembering what I had talked to Thomas about. Don't let money burn a hole in my pocket, or then we'll start something like this.
Yeah. Not only this stuff, those two tables, the countertops.
It's all black walnut.
Wow. Our taster trays are made out of it.
Yeah.
So you're saying yesterday was your first day on the system?
Yeah, and we say the big system, even though it's tiny, it's probably the small.
For a professional brew system, it's on the smaller side.
It was just it was an old mechanic shop that was ugly and dirty and hasn't been used for 10 years. And like,
I love seeing people come into old buildings like this and just
and
breathing some new life.
Yeah,
like you guys are.
We feel like that's telling the story of God. He comes in and restores things, and we want to come in and restore like this place. So I think it's a picture of what our church will mean here. We're a small community. We've never wanted to just have a church building that's going to sit and not be used. We want to be a part of the neighborhood and get to know neighbors. And so that was a part of my wife and I wanting to dream up a a space in the neighborhood, so we can actually, be open all week long and getting to know people and serving beer. And,
Part of your ministry.
Well, I think like the pastors of today are the bartenders and baristas and hairdressers. Like that's who people go and talk to. When I've worked in the restaurant, I'm like, why are you sharing this with me? But it's also, and no one goes to a pastor anymore and says, hey, let me, and that's fine. So now I get to serve people beer. We get to talk about life and what's important to them. Castrated ram.
Yeah, it is. It's a compound word from bell and weather, and a weather, spelled W-E-T-H-E-R, is a castrated ram. A rancher or shepherd leading a flock of usually goats or sheep, and then there's that one that's up next to him that's got the bell around its neck. That is the bellwether. And so kind of contemporary, what that's sort of turned into, a bellwether is a leader, an innovator. So we're kind of trying to exemplify that in a few different ways. One, just revitalizing this building specifically, but also being a part of the North Monroe, Emerson Garfield neighborhood. Also kind of a throwback, because that's kind of a Middle English thing. Originally Bellwether was, and then there's a lot of throwbacks with the beers historically, the Albion, the Strong Heather, the Braggots that we'll be doing.
And you mentioned another older brew just now. What was it?
It's called a braggot.
Okay.
It's specifically a style that you think about it most as mixing ale and mead. So it's made with a significant amount of both malt and honey. The one that we'll be serving full time is. What?
I was just playing with my son's pinky. I was sucking on it.
You're trying to be serious. The one that will.
Don't worry, we will not edit that
out. The main braggot that we'll have on all the time, we will have some other rotators and stuff, but the one that will be on all the time is called Seawolf. And again, that does have a historical tie. That's what the original Celts called the Vikings when they started attacking about the 800s. The Scots, the Welsh, Cymry, all that, they called them sea wolves.
Do you have any particular old world recipes that you have not done that you're looking forward to trying?
When you say that, do you just mean like a particular kind or like an actual
like a
recipe?
saute or something else no one's ever heard of that you want to try to put out?
I'll probably do some kind of experimenting on things like that. One of our handles is going to be just rotating, and I'll just do little 5-gallon batches here and there of different Groot ales.
Room for expansion over there, it looks like, too, maybe?
Yeah, there's actually a coffee shop owner that's interested in it. We don't know. If he takes it, great. If not, then we might future plans, expanding into there. But there's another repurposed deal. That was actually a French door in Dave's parents' house. They remodeled their house, and then they usually say doors don't make good windows, but this one does.
Thank you, Dave's parents.
Yeah. Oh man, we have a lot of people to thank. Our friend Raymond gave us a bunch of like tubing and just different brewing stuff. So then my buddy Jimmy gave us all our bar stools. He's given us all our racking. Gave us a lot of plateware that's not here yet, and cups and cup washers. And, so it's been a definite like community coming in and helping us. That's been fun.
Zero.
Yeah, starting out, well, go ahead.
We'll just be kegging for we have a very small system, so we probably won't be distributing at first. Just selling just out of the tap house.
You might see a keg or here
Yeah.
somewhere, but for the most part.
If you do have a favorite restaurant you should ask that restaurant, hey,
Yeah.
you should get Bellwether on tap.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. I think my goal is minimum though doing 6 barrels a week, which means we're brewing 4 times because we don't have a barrel and a half system. So yeah, you can fill a growler or a grunt or come and hang out with a friend. It'll be a great spot for that. And he likes to do specialty orders and stuff.
Yeah, honestly, if you have a beer, you're like, man, what could be brewed with rutabagas. I'm like, I don't know, but if you want to pay for a 5-gallon batch, I will make a rutabaga beer for you.
Nice. All right, big question. When do you open?
Yeah, no, it's good. It's good.
We're still shooting for our grand opening being the 22nd of September.
Be a party that day?
We've been telling people this summer, and the 22nd is the last day of summer.
Yeah,
so we're like, come on!
For one, yes, the historical aspect of it, having several beers that don't use any hops, and that is an absolute throwback to 1400s and earlier throughout most of Europe. This will be your favorite beer ever.